Jose and I are here in the airport, just waiting for my flight. My flight comes a little earlier than his. He's leaving a couple hours after me, but it's been a crazy 24 hours. About 24 hours ago, I was getting on a plane in New Hampshire coming here, and then Jose and I got picked up at the airport, shuttled over to West Virginia, about an hour and a half away, to our hotel, stayed there for a few hours, and then we went over to Tim's house, met with the crew for like an hour or so.
It was fun. It was a good
Then,
time.
if you saw the show, it was me, Jose, obviously, and then Tim, Ian, and Phil Labont, who a lot of you guys know, who was my former landlord. So that really like chilled the tone quite a bit, having him there. Made it pretty easy. But it was good. It was a lot of fun. I think the show went pretty well overall. Tim definitely wanted to talk about a bunch of gay shit, and we just had to like keep pulling it back in our direction. But I think the first hour actually went better than the second hour, which I think is opposite of typical. Like most people kind of warm up to it by the second hour, but we like really dominated the first hour pretty well. And then the second hour was kind of gay. So I don't know. I'm happy with how it went. But what do you think, Jose?
Yeah, no, I had a lot of fun. I got to bring Cassandra a kitty. I sold that to her. That was a fun time, despite what some people may think. I got booked, then gave her a kitty, so don't think I was trading kitties for Timcast, although I would. I have no morals. Yeah, no, it was a fun time. We had a really great time. Like the pre-tape, they pretty much, when we got there, as soon as we started hanging out, they made that into content. So, like, literally, we were hanging out, shooting the bull. I was talking about Democracy, the God That Fails with one of the guys, which is, like, I guess, was in their, like, paywalled green room content. We went to a whole bunch of different libertarian theory and debating this and that, and I didn't even realize we were rolling half the time, and I was like, why is this guy digging so deep in these topics? Then I realized, oh yeah, there's all these cameras in my face. This is content. But yeah, no, it was a great time. I know a lot of people are like upset that we didn't spend like, I don't know, 45 minutes talking about OKC and 9/11, but we knew what we were getting into. We knew what this was. I think we did a great. I felt like it was a good showing. I thought, surprisingly, we got a lot of the stuff we would have liked to have covered. Got a lot of libertarian stuff, a lot of like conspiracy stuff that we like to cover, and it was a really fun time. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to hop in. We're just chilling at the airport, waiting for the stuff to come in, for the jets to come, for Reed's leaving. We got like at least probably 30 minutes at the very least.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was a fun time. I really can't complain. It was great. We got along with all those, even Tim. I know a lot of people say he's kind of like, give him the reputation of kind of being a butthole or like kind of being cold and distant. But I mean, I got the vibe that we got a good rapport with him personally. I thought he was cool. I mean, it's not like we were like homies or anything, but it was cool. I mean, he meets a different new person every day, so it's like, what can you expect?
I mean, I think he actually is kind of cold, which in a good way.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I was pushing back on him pretty hard throughout the show, and he didn't
Nolan,
get pissy
sorry.
about it.
I just saw you asked if I'm taller than Tim. No, Tim's probably, I'd say, 5'8" to 5'10", somewhere in that range.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't short, but he definitely wasn't tall either. Yeah. So, yeah, if you guys have any questions, anything, yeah, I'm happy. I got to get in it. I know, like, especially with Tower Gang, everyone's giving me crap about, like, my over-preparation, but I actually think it was good. I prepared a lot, and even though I prepared a bunch, I didn't get to cover all the stuff I wanted to, that I would have liked to have covered, but I knew that was going to happen. But I figured it's better to be over-prepared, and even then, it just keeps me in a mindset of being sharp, ready to go, which I think we were. I think we were in a good spot, and then I was able to calm my nerves before. I feel like I was very relaxed. Reed was as well. He did no prep, so he was a different story.
Yeah, I just did it completely cold.
He's a naturalist. The naturalist capitalist, just a natural.
The only thing I recited, which I actually didn't even get to talk about, was I did actually want to talk about 9/11. So I was making sure I had my facts straight on the 9/11 report, 28 pages with Bandar Bush, Osama Basnan, Meyer al-Bayoumi, and Khalid al-Mihdhar and Nawaf Azmi with the Flight 77 and hijacking, and I was gonna like try to bring that up, but it never presented itself during the main show. I know most of you probably only watched the main show. The after show is actually way worse. We barely talked at all, and we were just like typing stuff into an AI.
It was
computer.
fun.
I mean,
yeah, we were playing with the chat GPT thing. Which I know for me, I don't know, for Reed, it was like, I'm a tech idiot. So it was like, for me, it was like,
Same. You guys know me.
yeah,
If this live stream doesn't crash, it's going to be an amazing.
I
feed,
didn't
so.
really even completely understand ChatGPT, how it works. So, like, also on the fly, trying to come up with ideas to feed it. But once me and Reed kind of got the hang of it, it was fun because that was actually an awesome opportunity for us to get into some of our conspiracy stuff. Because we were like asking ChatGPT about
did Israel have anything to
yeah.
do with 9/11? Did the Saudis give money to the Flight 77?
ChatGPT was surprisingly based if you jailbreak it.
We asked it if Assad gassed his own people on like truth mode or whatever, and it was like, actually, reports conflict. There's conflicting information with reports, and it's hard to know the absolute truth. We got some comments here. Let's see. This is Rich. What is the dynamic between him and his staff? Seems like he was projecting his situation with his staff when he was talking about James O'Keefe.
I got the vibe he was like, there was a good rapport, but he just kind of has he's kind of a serious, like, kind of, and I'm not trying to be mean, like, shit on him, like, autist almost, so, like, he's not, like, cutting up with the boys all the time, but I didn't feel anything bad, like he lorded himself above them or anything. I mean, obviously it's his business, but I don't know, I got a good vibe between all of them, so personally.
Oh, the staff, they were super nice.
The staff's amazing.
They were super cordial and everything. You guys were chill, thank you. You guys definitely killed it, thank you. Message retracted. Reed, did you try to get Ryan on? I did mention Ryan a couple times, and Eric a couple times.
I feel like we were pretty plug heavy, but it wasn't even like we were trying to be plug heavy. It was just natural.
By the way, Cassandra already knows who Ryan is. I mean, she's talked about him on Twitter. She follows him. I think Ryan follows her. Ryan might be coming out stateside in June, so it'd be cool if you could get on at that point. I don't know, but Ryan, he doesn't have the greatest networking skills. He tends to kind of burn bridges, so we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, I do want to let you guys know, we heard a lot of comments from staff. I don't think Tim ever said it, but we didn't. It's not like we talked to Tim a bunch about, like, coming back. You guys got to come back. You guys got to come back. Like, they seem to like us, and we vibed well with everybody. Their staff, I can't emphasize, their staff is awesome. They really are great people.
I also want to say, I was talking to Jose about this last night. I'm not going to mention any names, but I got into some arguments in the past with people who think we basically need to be super nice to Tim Pool and like almost coddle him and not criticize him too much. When I made that McCain tweet from the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire, we were like the enemy of Timcast, and then eventually one of their writers reached out to me, asked me directly about the Twitter stuff, wrote a whole article, and then Cassandra, just out of the blue one day, messaged me asking me to come on. So this idea that, like, to impress people, you have to just, like, not criticize them and be super nice to them all the time, I don't think that's true. Like, I mean,
to be fair, we lucked up with Cassandra being the booker. It seems to be that my impression of how Tim operates over there is he operates like a good leader does, where he hires good people and then he delegates responsibilities to them accordingly. Obviously, he has the ultimate, decision, but Cassandra's super based. She likes Tower Gang. I was talking to her. She seems like she watches it fairly regularly. She hates neocons. She's awesome. Cassandra, I can't emphasize enough how cool she is.
Yeah, let's see. I was hoping to hear that January 6th joke from you, Reed, when Ian was praising Congress. Yeah, well, I did make some comment. I forget what it was exactly, but Phil actually looked over at me and kind of laughed when Ian was saying that the Capitol building was very welcoming or whatever. I forget exactly what I said. You guys did good. Reed should do something with the flannel guy moniker. Oh, dude, so in case you guys missed it, there's this guy at the end who just hated my criticisms of Trump, and he dropped, I don't even know how many $100s, but hundreds of dollars in super chats demanding that Tim never have me back on again. And that was like the most flattering thing anyone could have done.
The best way to ensure that person comes back. I almost is this one of our people? What's going on?
I know, it was a plant. It was perfect. By the way, guys, I got my Twitter back yesterday morning. And I mean, it was crazy. It was literally, or I guess it was afternoon, but it was right after I got picked up from the airport. I was on my other account, my ban evading one, and someone sent me a message saying, "Hey guys, I think your Twitter's back." And so I went and looked, and it was. I know there's gonna be lots of conspiracies about that being like Tim Pool got my Twitter back. I hadn't even met him yet, and also other people got their Twitter back yesterday. I think this had to do with, remember when Twitter like broke a couple months ago and nothing was working, and then the next day, a bunch of accounts were reinstated, so I don't know what was going on.
Yeah,
But
I didn't
got
get
it
mine
now.
back. My other two that I had, I didn't get back. Not that I really care. I'm almost back to where I was, so whatever.
Yeah, but I was down 3,000 followers from when I got banned. I had about 19, and I was down at around 16, but I'm already up above 18 again. So go follow me on Twitter at Reed Coverdale again, just like it was back in October 2021.
By the way, I want to emphasize there were multiple times we got into topics in the show that we would then just kind of move on to the next one, even though we were kind of disagreeing. I think a lot of people take us not pushing back on everything as maybe a sign of agreement, but no, a lot of times just like, all right, let's keep it moving. There were a few like that where it's like, you know, when you have a show like that and you've got such a rotating thing of topics, you kind of got to pick your battles and, you know, be like, all right, whatever, that's enough on that one. Who cares? Like, for example, in the pre-show, I got into talking about IP, and I honestly was kind of sucked into, like, for a moment, and I brought it up to Ian when we were talking about, like, the patents and stuff, and I was, like, so close. I was on the verge of spurging and going full on like anti-IP, but I was like, is this really going to be like good like is this really what I want to focus on IP right now? Like, I mean, I kind of got a little point in about it, but it's like, yeah, you kind of got to pick your battles. We had a full on IP discussion in the before show thing. There's an art to this, and some people, I think me and Reed are in this weird spot where maybe it's because we're both semi kind of blue collar people. Do we know how to act people? But we're also autists.
Whoa, he's semi blue collar. I am blue
Yes.
collar. I know I'm wearing an orange shirt, but
So
there are a couple comments in here saying he wasted our time and
No.
talking about Adam Fitzgerald made a whole video about us. So I just want to say to the autists out there, I love you and I understand your love language. I understand that you guys are pissed that we didn't get to talk about Nawafal Hazmi for an hour or whatever. I get it, and I appreciate it. Love Adam, love Ryan, love all these guys who are angry that Tim was kind of talking about drama bullshit. It's what we expected. My biggest fear was that the whole thing was going to be boring, so we tried to make it as interesting as we could. We had some good humor, and we got to pull the show in our way. I mean, that's what it's not Joe
we made
Rogan.
Tim laugh multiple times.
Yeah,
He almost never laughs on the show.
It's not Joe Rogan. It's not an interview show. It's a news show where you have to like go out of your way to try to have a comment on what they're talking about.
Yeah, that's
So
why I
it's-
literally had to wear a shirt. By the way, toplobster.com. Totally forgot to plug it. I'm sorry, Top. I love it.
here. Same here.
Also, we have Dave Smith on next week on Tower Gang. We forgot that as well. There's so much going on. You forget all your plugs, all the things you want to touch on. That's why it's good to over prep, but make sure you're calm the day of.
Yeah. No, but I don't know. It was a lot of fun. I mean, I enjoyed the show. It wasn't just
Yeah,
like
it was a lot of fun,
it
yeah.
wasn't just that it went well. I was having a blast the whole time, and I'm just very. I was wondering if I was going to be nervous pushing back against him because I wanted to. I wanted to be a bit combative.
He handles criticism well. I'll give him that.
he
He
did
very
with
well.
me.
You know, like I was like, you'd think it would be like you're like I
I mean, don't get me
know.
wrong. He had absolute brain dead takes occasionally. I was like, dude,
Yeah, we were
what? Like-
We are describing to you the boom bust cycle. It was in a bubble.
It was amazing. He's like, but guys, Trump, Biden, inflation. It's just like, yes.
Don't you think the economy was good under Trump? Like, yeah, yes, I guess in a certain sense, but it was artificial.
But it was great. Like, I mean, because you got to remember, Tim's audience agrees with him, so it's an even better place for us to be. Like, if we go part of the problem or something, Dave's gonna agree with us.
We
and
got Trump
preach to the
derangement
tower.
syndrome comments, but it's like he said at one point that Trump was his favorite president in his lifetime, and I said that Trump would have been amazing if he wouldn't have been held down by the deep state, essentially. And it was like, but he was. So that's what's going on. Like we couldn't have been like that's nice shit to say, but like just the fact we showed any criticism whatsoever, it's like Trump derangement.
Yeah,
But
we're
whatever, I don't care. I
obviously
thought it was funny.
Democrat, communist. You know, that's just how it goes. Let's see here. We
comments.
got people pushing back on Tim is what makes the show interesting, and also what makes him
Yep.
interested in the conversation. Oh yeah, dude. Like Tim threw questions to us. He like the Trump thing. Like he threw that back to me after we'd already gone through it, and was like, "So Reed, is this what you're saying?" And like I got to go at it again. So having pushback and disagreeing with him, I
Yeah.
mean that's what you should do. It makes things a lot more interesting. I didn't mention actually Jose pushed back on the China stuff more than I got to. Like and it wasn't so much from a foreign policy perspective, but he was talking about how China is, going to implode basically because of
Yeah.
their economic system.
Apparently, I didn't say it perfectly according to Clint. I'm sorry. Go ask Clint Russell. He will tell you. I'm just a parrot. I just parrot what smart people say. But go on.
Yeah, but I got to push back a lot on Afghanistan, the whole narrative that we pulled out too fast or whatever, or that we should have nuked them. They're lucky we didn't blow up the whole country, whatever Ian was saying. I mean, I got a little heated, but it was good. Like, I mean, they were listening to me, and they're like, oh, okay. And then also, just the economic stuff we were talking about earlier. And there's something else I really pushed back on. I'm trying to remember what it was. It's kind of all blurring together. But
I mean, we kind of pushed back a little bit because he did the whole gay, like, no infighting crap. And we were kind of
we're
that's
like,
good.
dude, this is
a good thing. You're getting rid of your bullshit. Like, you're getting rid of the crap. Like, that's what you're doing. Like, I know a lot of people, it's a contentious issue. I feel like I laid out with that whole thing. We're not going to go into that. If you want to know my take on that specific drama nonsense, I brought down, I'm pretty sure, is that basically your take, the take I gave as well, pretty much?
I don't have a take.
Okay, whatever. He doesn't have a take. But yeah, that was my take. I think that's a fair take. I forgot my point.
My take is white women must be stopped.
Yes,
That's it.
unironically,
That's my
yes.
take,
but
so.
I forgot what the hell the point was there.
But that, I don't know, the pushback, it went well.
Oh, we were pushing back on that, yeah. And the fact that, with the whole, I don't know if we got any other questions. What do we got?
How is Phil in real life? Phil's great.
Phil's
I mean,
awesome.
I lived with him for 6 months out of the year.
Dude's
last
my
year.
height.
Yeah, he is. He's got that crazy deep voice, but it's on a small frame.
I feel like I could pick him up.
It was good having him there because he added a lot of like inside jokes and fake embarrassment. Like, I mean, he said a few times like, I disavow these guys, I don't know who they are, as a joke because obviously he's been on both of our shows. He lived with me for 6 months. He's very familiar with us, and he's familiar with our like humor and everything. So he was a good in on the conversation for a lot of stuff that wouldn't have worked with just Tim and Ian there. So it was great having him there. I loved it.
Yeah, no, I thought the dynamic was great. I mean, Serge didn't really get involved, but his presence there, he was cool. We met him before. He's a cool guy. I think just his presence, the social dynamic it creates. Ian's cool. We have like a decent, like a semi rapport with him. Every interaction with him is super nice. He's not someone who's like an ideologue or stuck to any position. Like, even though he was kind of saying nuts stuff, I feel like with the whole Afghanistan thing, we probably, if we'd pushed back enough, he could have 100% have a different position 5 minutes from now. Same thing with
Ian strikes me
Congress
as very inquisitive. Like, he's opinionated, but then when you say something, you can even see it in his face. He's just looking at you like, he's almost like Tucker Carlson with the, wow, that's the most amazing thing I've heard in my life. But I will say, like, getting rid of Lydia was one of the best things I think they've done. And I still think that the show is extremely centrist and boring, and they barely have any, like, interesting takes. But having Phil there is definitely raising the IQ of the room. And then also Cassandra is awesome.
is the key.
She's great.
She is like, that is why they've been having great guests lately. It's Cassandra. All Cassandra. She is the bee's knees, the cat's meow.
Literally.
Yeah. No, she's a big cat person.
Yeah.
And monkey person. The monkey's paw. There we go. Actually, I think that means something else. But,
yeah.
Cassandra, I can't emphasize. She's awesome. She's been really emphasizing. She loves us. She watches Tower Gangs sometimes. She like really does. She hates neocons. Like, she's basically one of us in everything but name. Everything. She doesn't call herself a libertarian, I don't think. But she's basically one of us.
Although she identifies as a New Hampshire libertarian. She said that once, which is based. Which, by the way, I did give tons of shout outs to New Hampshire last night. I used every opportunity I could to say, it doesn't matter if Rand Paul runs for president, if Dave Smith runs for president. Like, don't get me wrong, that would be good if they did, to draw attention to things. But at the end of the day, you're not saving this country. It's over.
Yeah, we've done a lot of good discussions about like localism and like like that's why you need to focus on this. That was kind of our point. Like, with Biden being there, it's like, okay, but that allows for more localism to occur. And we touched on that topic like a lot. If anything, that was probably like an underlying topic in a lot of discussions, more so than really anything.
Yeah.
Will you both go by Flannel Boy and Haircut Boy? I mean, I wish mine was a little bit better. I mean, I like it. Flannel Boys seem just to be more catchy. I don't know.
Yeah.
But Haircut's nice. I don't know. It's like a little compliment. It's weird. Whatever.
I kept the Taliban beard. I was thinking about like cutting it short, and I was just like, nah, I'm going with the full like caveman look. Why not? So.
Yeah.
Let's see if we got any more. That was the last one. I'm offering a ransom for Tim's beanie. I think that thing's like glued to his head. I don't think it comes off.
Ian is one of the nicest people. Someone said, what's your guys' impression of Tim and Ian off camera? Ian genuinely is who he is on camera, off camera. He's one of the nicest people, the vibe I got. I mean, we didn't have a huge discussion. The way it works is like you go hang out before. You're hanging out with mostly his staff, and then you go up to the room like probably roughly an hour or so before, and you kind of start like kind of talking about topics, sort of. But when I say talking about topics, it's more Tim looking down and being like, oh, look at this, look at that. And he's more like kind of almost monologuing, but like kind of bringing you through what, he's been looking at. And the other guys show up around that same time too. And while Tim's kind of doing his thing, there's kind of like minor, conversation going around the room, kind of when Tim has his little breaks and we're not paying attention to what he's saying. And yeah, you kind of got a vibe, but it's not like we got a huge amount of time to really cut it up with Phil or Ian. We get a lot of time to cut up with Serge because he did the pre-show thing. He was hanging out with us downstairs before, but the other guys just showed up. But even then, with a little bit of the FaceTime we got with Ian, he is just a genuine nice guy. He really is. He's an absolute
Tim,
sweetheart.
honestly, just strikes me as ambivalent. Like, he just doesn't really care. Like,
I think
which is fine.
And yes and no. I mean, I think he did seem to kind of warm up a little bit. I don't know if he just got a good vibe from us or what. I don't know. I got a good vibe from him. Like, I mean, I get it. Like, you see, I could almost kind of identify with being kind of like heavy. As if you had different people coming every single day, and you had all this shit going on, I can understand. Like, and if you're not like a people person, you're like, okay, hey, what's up? Like, everyone's probably trying to fillet you all the time, and you're like, okay. I mean, we were just trying to generally polite. I don't think we were SNSD or anything, so, I mean,
we were being polite. I mean, once we started rolling, I was like, let's go, man. Like, I'll, I'll disagree on whatever. But all outside of the show, everything was very cordial or whatever. But yeah, so I've got Scott Ritter coming on. I don't have a date yet, but I confirmed with him. I think I guess I'll go into this right now. Like, I've been to 2 events where he spoke, and it's never been an issue before. I'm not defending him against his allegations.
One of those speeches was at NAMBLA.
No, actually, so guys, there was a Ron Paul Institute event put on by Ron Paul. He was one of the featured speakers, and then a Free Assange rally last September or something in DC that I went to. And it wasn't an issue at all. So regardless of what you think about him being guilty or whatever, I'm not defending him. I'm not defending his character. I'm not defending any of that. I'm just saying this was turned into a fiasco for no reason. And I think he has a valuable outlook on things given his expertise as a UN chief weapons inspector. So I'm going to have him on the show to talk about that. If you guys want to call me a pedo apologist or whatever, you can go fuck yourselves. It has nothing to do with that. But yeah.
I do want to point out, there's something I was thinking about last night when I told Reed. A lot of people brought up Top Lobster and Clint's appearance. I actually think they really opened the door they got the foot in the door. I think a lot of the good vibes that we were getting was because they were, by extension, they identified us as Tower Gang. And I do think, and I heard a lot of things from people who were like, Tim actually really liked them. So maybe that's just kind of like how he is. So he wasn't really as warm and receptive to them. But because they got the foot in the door for us, they're who enabled us to have such a great episode.
So then we screwed over Toad and Cole. They've got no chance now. But
no,
I
think they loved us, honestly. But I mean, it's a funny joke. But yeah. I think, Cole and Toad, that'll be a fun one for sure.
I think they paired us up right, like Jose and I think they actually paired up everyone who's like the most similar of the 6 of us. So, no offense, Cole. Don't take that too hard.
But Top and Clint just got screwed with the whole Crowder Daily Wire thing. I'm sorry, that was just the worst topic, and they focused on it forever. And I don't know, maybe he even the first thing Tim said when he came down in that today, he was like, "Oh, a lot of news today," and then on top of that, there were big like drama issues and stuff. So like, that's why I think we had such. Whereas I think probably on Clint and Top's day, it was like that was the story. So that was kind of like why. Yep, that was all we're covering. So
George, if you're trying to get a hold of me, message me on Twitter or Telegram. Reed Coverdale on both. But yeah, I don't know. It's probably good enough. Don't want to, masturbate to ourselves for too long. So thanks for the support, guys.
Yeah,
I think it went really well. And yeah, well, make sure you check in for Tower Gang on Wednesday with Dave Smith, where we're not going to talk about libertarianism or politics.
And we will bully him if he tries to. We'll call him a little homo, and we'll move on. All right.
All right, guys. Tower Gang forever.
Boom, boom. Gang, gang.
Israel did 9/11.